Good afternoon, Internet. I'm your host, HazelPlace89, and welcome back to City Skylines. But this time we're playing City Skylines 2, and I'm going to try not to abandon what I have going on with it. So we are in the town of Blackshire. Blackshire is a play on words, and it's kind of an homage, as it were, to the town that I lived in for a majority of my young life. Before I moved to where I am today, I lived in a town called Blackshire for a number of years. So that's where we're at. I am going to go ahead and we're going to let's extend this road out maybe 400 meters or so. And then what we can do is take this road and do this to it, like a nice T there. Okay. And I think that's where we will start. But what I want to do is, as you can see, we have down here power lines. So we want to think about our power situation and things like that. We also have water to think about. But I believe on this map, we have a nice water deposit here. So that's where I want to put this. So what we'll do is I'm going to grab a road. And we're going to do this right here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That feels good. I think that's acceptable. And so another thing that we can do is stretch all the way like so. Now it does break that grid just a touch, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Now let's check our water. Right off here, so I'm going to take an alley, like a thin road. And we're going to put it right here. So I want the building off the main road, if I can help it. There's that. And a similar situation down here. We're going to add we're going to add the transformer station, because in this game you can import power. So we're going to take the transformer station and put it right here. I'm going to back this off just a touch. There we go. So now we have power, we have water, but we don't have water treatment. So we want to grab a sewage outlet and put it right here, I guess. And we can just run a pipe all the way down here. And what's cool about City Skylines 2 is that you don't need to run dedicated like power lines to things. Like the sewage outlet right here, I don't have to run a power line all the way across like we would if, you know, in Cities 1. And that's a pretty neat little thing. All right. So now I want to think about our residential. I kind of want to make this a nice little rural town. So what I'm going to do, let's get this road. Let's come off about here. That should be dead center. Actually, let's not do that. Let's come off here. And I'm just going to start laying down this. Actually, I'll take that back. Let's do something unique. We're going to have decisions. I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I think what we can try is, because I don't necessarily want a grid. So let's just take this back and we will do something along these lines and make like a little subdivision right off the bat. Okay. Just gonna kind of eyeball it. I don't anticipate it being perfect necessarily, but that's okay. What we will need to do though is make a connection. So let's just make one right there. I'm just gonna honestly just wing it and see where that takes us. The problem with winging it is that you don't necessarily get a perfect grid, and that could really mess with zoning if you're going for density. But this is really a is that 5? I'm gonna do one more. We're gonna go, let's go about right here. Yeah, that'll do. So we have, you know, this kind of going for us. I don't really have a plan in this moment. I'm just kind of winging it. But I think sometimes that's the joy of it. You're just, you know, you're just going for it. And sometimes you don't have to have everything figured out to get started. Sometimes you just need to start. And that's where that's if I can be transparent, that's where I'm at with my content creation journey. So I've begun Twitch streaming. And now I'm going to try my hand at making YouTube videos again. This past week decided that if I was going to wait for everything to fall perfectly in line with, you know, everything that I had as expectations, then I would just kind of just be sitting there not doing anything but waiting. And so I thought to myself, well, I may as well get started, because if I never start, then I'll, you know, I won't go anywhere unless I start. So that's where we're at. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to zone some patterns in our zoning there. That should get that started. And now I'm going to take this. We're going to have a nice let's do a 4 by something. 4 by 8. I think that's 4 by 8, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gotta go one more. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, there's that. And now what we want to do, all the way down here, I'm gonna take off some roads on this street. Let's just go about right here. And we will do this number. And we're going to get some industrial zoning in, because that's what the people like and need right now. So we'll go down here and we'll just block zone a fair amount of this right here. Now we're going to let it come up. We have water, we have power, we have sewage, and as you can see, homes are already starting to come in. So I'm going to speed the game up just a touch. And so I'm going to begin to zone more in our residential area. Like that. It's very good. It's very good. We're going to zone you. Zone you. You and you. Zone you. There, it's going to be low, like the homes are going to be low density, but the density in which the low density housing exists will be dense. So here we go. we're going to not zone directly on that bad boy. But what we will do is continue our three. I like the 3x3 zoning pattern in Cities 2. I do. I like it a lot. It just feels right, you know? It makes sense to me. I'm gonna do that, and you can skip a few. I may have a more structured and planned grid, so to speak, later on. But as of right now, I think this is just fine. And if we need to... One thing I've learned, I have quite a number of hours in CS1. And I didn't learn until very late that it's okay to go back and unzone or bulldoze or build stuff over other things. And if you're a new player to City Skylines, either 1 or 2, I would encourage you to not get so married to ideas that you become inflexible. Because sometimes you have to make concessions, right? Sometimes you have to move a house or redraw a road or something like that. And then it's all you become better for it. You become better for it. I think what we can do is I'm going to come out with this, like that. I actually do want that all one. Meh, close enough. So we can connect these two. How is somebody dead already? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, so I think we're about to hit a milestone. But what I would like to do is begin to zone more commercial. Because we need it. The people are requesting it. And so they shall have it. We are the kind of mayor that gives the people what they want. And they want houses, and they want things, they want shops to go to buy things at. And there we go, milestone 1 unlocked. Let's go to our progression panel and see what we've got. We've got a loan limit, we've got map tiles, city budget, city stats. That's fun. Some density. We got roads. We can put our cemetery down so people will not complain about them dying all the time. So yeah. And we can unlock things in our development tree. The first thing that I like to unlock is the advanced road services. That's what I like to do. So we have unlocked that. So now that allows us to do things like manage traffic lights and things and stop signs and whatnot. It's very good. I highly recommend it. It's in my opinion, it should be the first thing. The road services tab. It should be the first thing that you unlock in your city. Alright, so here we have something that we can think about. We have all sorts of new facilities that we should begin to look into. So what I want to do, let's take a road. I don't want any roads off here. Let's take a road off this way. We're going to put it right here, okay? And now, we're going to take this and cap it off and place our medical clinic here. But we want it centered on this road. But we can't do that. So what we can do is turn our snappings off, rotate it around. And how I personally line it up is I find the center of the building, which is between those two little paths there. And I sit it in the center, or set the line of the zoning square in the center of it. And I have it set back just a little ways from the road. Because you could do that in this game. And so there's that. And if we need to upgrade it, we have ample space to do so. And that's great. Alright, so we have our medical clinic. The next thing that we want to think about is our cemetery. What I like what I think we'll do is place our cemetery. Let's turn snapping back on. Let's place our cemetery on the side. Let's place it on the side road. Place it right here beyond that block of zoning. And so I think we should still have enough room for upgrades and activities. Yes, we do. Okay. That's perfect. Speaking of perfect, let's not... I was gonna push zoning this way, but I don't think that's what we want to do. Because we have this whole nice block right here. And so we will just... evict a few people. They'll be fine. That's just the way it goes sometimes, my friends. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. And we're gonna do this. I think I might turn off that. So we're gonna go 104. We're gonna go there, and I'm gonna delete this and try again, because I do kind of want it flush. It just makes sense to me that way. But what we can do is have little paths like that in the center, just to give character to the space, like so. Could we not zone that? What has happened? I don't understand. Well, okay. So I'm gonna do something similar, but put it right there. Yeah, I like it. So we can have more houses, which is what we want. We also want to get in some of those row homes here soon. We definitely want to get in some row homes. So here's what we could do. Before we get too caught up in stuff, let's take this road back here. And I know that I said that I don't want to do anything, but that's perfect because, and we still have room on this side for the upgrades. We're going to take this and we're going to put it right here. And I want to put it right there. And now I'm going to use my curve tool. And I'm going to turn that off because that's getting on my nerves. Oh. And we're going to do a nice little sweepy sweep curve like so. And we're just going to make a connection here. Alright. So here's what we can do. We have row homes that need to be placed. So let's go 4 deep and about yay long. And then they'll grow up. And it'll be a good time. And that just ate into that demand for those. So that's fantastic. But what we can do now is, let's just check that. Okay. I'm going to add commercial here. And we're going to add commercial on this strip right here. Yes. I approve. All right. And we are still in the need of some low density houses. So let's give them some low density houses. All right. Yeah. Just a nice little 3x3 zone. Because it's fun. All right. Keep zoning in. Like so. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. And if we have like a 2 by whatever right there, that's totally fine. Just a little bit of extra character to the space. Alright. So we have a little subdivision going on. It's unique. It's getting the job done. We have to take into consideration garbage. So I'm going to place the garbage collection point about right here. And then what we can do, check to see what it is. 71 tons. I'm just going to bring the space back just a touch. Not too much, just a little bit, so we can have a little extra space. All right. I think what we could do is begin planning another neighborhood. I think we will continue actually zoning this area because we have plenty of squares to do that with. Like this. Yeah. Put that there. And now we have the need. Okay, so you see how this is right here? These smaller ones with the small backyards. We don't want that. We want 4x4 or a 1x4 pattern on that. So that's okay. So we'll delete, or we're going to add zoning. Let's just block zone all of that. And there's that. And I think what we can do, I'm going to make a connection. Nah, that's too close to the interchange. Never mind. Yeah. We can unlock, we have squares to unlock, map tiles, but in reality, we don't need to do that just yet. We don't need to worry about that. I can foresee this area becoming a downtown area sort of in the future. I can foresee that happening. I like the idea of having key walls here too. Maybe some piers, ports down on these areas right here, just thinking ahead. But what we can do is we can go and add something fun like this just to make a secondary connection into the space here. It wouldn't hurt. And it would look cool. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to delete these two right here and instead push those down just a little ways. I'm going to put that all the way down here. All right. So here, like what we have going on, if we have homes being built, we have a need for more row homes. So we can add that. We're going to do that here. All along there. And then we can also begin zoning again our 3x3 small homes. Single families. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we have a whole square spot over here we can do as well. That really is the name of the game. Especially in the early stages, is just zoning things. And that's, you know, that's okay. It's part of the charm of City Skylines. You get to use your painting, like Bob Ross. Paint your zoning squares and have a good time. So what we could do is we could very much do that. Okay. And will we still have room for upgrades if that time ever comes? Yes. And we've unlocked Milestone 2. We're a small village, so that's fun. What does our progression panel look like? A new loan limit. We've unlocked taxation. And I want to look at that here in a second before we go. We have more medium density housing, but these are more like apartment blocks instead of row homes. We have schools, and those are things that we're going to want to take care of right now while we can. So let's look at our budget. So we have the budget right here. We could take loans if we wanted to. We can adjust taxation, and I'm going to adjust it up to 12 all across the board. It's very in depth, the economic simulation, or at least in regards to how much stuff it's broken down and whatever. You know, it's like there's more than just in CS1. It was very simple in regards to, you know, all you have is these, but now they're broken down into different, you know, brackets of education or type of material or good is being sold and whatnot. And it's an interesting idea. And I'm believing, and I think that they're getting their economy simulation all working the way it ought to. So actually, you know how I said that I didn't want to add a road? I think I do want to add a road. But I want to add it right here. I don't actually... Okay, let me... Okay. That works. That works. I'm happy with that. We could also add this because I feel like this road does need to be a through road. Let's say right through here. I can dig that. I can appreciate that. Yeah. That works. That works. So it gives us, it connects that to the main street. That's perfect. Speaking of Main Street, let's name it Main Street before we get to our schools. There we go. Main Street. All right. Schools. Now that we've got this blocked out right here, I think this would be a great place for some educational facilities. So what we could do is I like the idea of having the school kind of here-ish. Maybe at an angle, maybe off the street. I definitely do want it off even the road right here. So I think what we'll do is we'll make the entry point off here and have this going up the side like that. And so now let's take this elementary school, put it here. Oh yeah. And just because I like to do this, is like one of the first things that I do. Let's add that, and we have room. That's perfect. All right. So we have that there. Now what we want to do is consider and think about our high school. Now the high school is huge, and after you add the extensions on it, it gets even bigger. So I like the idea of having it on the waterfront, right? Kind of like this right here. Something like this. Perhaps here. And then what we can do is add our stadium. Let's add the stadium. That. Oh yeah. So as we come through, we should get some pretty nice lines of sight with that. I can see this road coming over like this as we want to bridge at some point. This little corner is going to get cut off, but that's not our problem. That's just for another time. So let's just bring a road and snug up a road all about right here. And you know what? That'll do. That will do. I want to add, let's level this out. Level this out about right here, and then we grab our soften tool. Yeah, so the name of the game, especially early on, is just getting everything started. And as we're coming through, yeah, we can see that looks really good, actually. I'm here for it. I want to, moving forward, I want to be more thoughtful with how I place things. I want to consider very carefully how I zone and place buildings. Okay, and now what we have is a demand for row homes or medium density housing. So we can see where people don't want to live in like single family homes, low density. That's a feature. But yeah, I think for now I'm satisfied. We are hurting for workers, so we're not satisfied. Here's what we can do. Let's go ahead and add. I'm just gonna do this right here. Like that. Just coming on through. But I think for now, we're going to just kind of chill and take a look and see at everything. And so this is what we've got so far. I think we're off to a decent start. I need to slow down, and I will address that in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thanks for giving the episode a watch. I appreciate your viewership. It would mean a lot if you would consider hitting the like button and subscribing, and following me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at HazelPlace89. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.